The first major break in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie. Today, the FBI releasing these new images and videos of a possible suspect in the case.
The new images show a person wearing a mask and gloves appearing on Nancy's front porch in the middle of the night, trying to shield themselves from the doorbell camera with what looks like a gun in their waistband and a backpack full of something. Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, posting these images on social media saying, "We believe she's still out there." Thank you for joining us for 12 News at 4. I'm Troy Hayden.
And I'm Treya Mai. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is live in Tucson with the latest. And Gabriella, what are the FBI saying about this person?
Well, right now, Tram, the FBI says this person is a subject in connection to this case. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department have not yet identified a suspect or person of interest. But one of the very first things we noticed about Nancy's home when we got down here last Monday was that the doorbell camera was missing. The bracket is still on the wall, but the actual device is not there. And the sheriff's office told us that they had not been able to locate that camera. But now for the very first time, we're seeing what it captured just before it was disabled around 1:47 a.m. on February 1st, the night that Nancy disappeared. Let's take another look at those videos that the FBI shared this morning. They show a man walk up to Nancy's porch wearing a ski mask, a hoodie, light-colored pants, gloves, and gym shoes. He's also wearing a backpack that has reflectors on the strap and appears to be armed with a holster around his waist. Now, the man uses his hand to cover the top part of the camera where the lens is while trying to remove the device from the wall. At one point, he goes to grab flowers from Nancy's bushes to block the camera before moving it. The FBI was able to recover these videos from residual data located in back-end systems, they tell us. We know the doorbell camera at Nancy's house was disconnected at 1:47 a.m. on February 1st. And FBI Director Kash Patel says they've been working with private sector partners to recover any images from Nancy's home that may have been lost or corrupted. All of the videos that have been released so far appear to come from the doorbell camera only, but we know that she had multiple cameras located around the house. And a short time later that morning at 2:12 a.m., one of the cameras detected a person. That video has yet to be released if it has been recovered yet. But as you mentioned, Savannah Guthrie joined the FBI in sharing these very chilling photos and videos of this person on her mother's doorstep. She is pleading alongside the FBI that anyone who might recognize even the smallest detail to be able to identify this person to contact the FBI directly at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Live in Tucson, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabriella, and obviously we know that it took 8 days to recover this video. Very difficult for law enforcement to sift through and really get to the approval to get this video. But I'm wondering, since this major break, have you seen much activity being in front of Nancy's house?
At Nancy's house, we have not. We've only seen the 2 deputies that have been staged here for the last couple days, just monitoring the home. We know there is activity happening beyond Nancy's house, though, in the neighboring communities. And so investigators are still busy at work, just not at Nancy's house today.
Yeah, and you would think if they were able to get this video after all this time, it's possible they've found video or maybe searching surrounding homes for that as well. So, Gabby, thank you. Much more now on this video.
Well, shortly after the new video and images were released, law enforcement arrived into Annie Guthrie's neighborhood.
Yeah, and of course, that's Nancy's daughter, Savannah's sister. So here we are, Sean. Coincidence? We get this big break in this case, and all of a sudden now, more law enforcement at this house.
Yeah, Tram and Troy, that's absolutely right. A lot of activity along Annie Guthrie Street. This is Tornero Street, here about 10 to 15 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's home. And what we saw throughout this afternoon was 2 groups of federal agents, FBI agents, combined with Pima County Sheriff's Office investigators, walk along this street and knock on every single door. And I had a chance to speak with two women who live in one of the homes they were interested in. And what these 2 women inside told me is that these federal agents were asking for permission to enter their homes, but also search backyard areas and areas adjacent between homes. This is rugged desert terrain areas. So they were in search of something. And what these 2 women told me is they were looking for, quote, placed evidence, something that whoever whomever took Nancy may have placed on a neighboring property here in and around Annie Guthrie's property. So let's take you to video of what we witnessed this afternoon. This all started at about 2 o'clock, so about 3 hours after that surveillance video evidence was released. You can see agents walk up to front doors. They spoke with homeowners and were let inside backyard areas and the inside of homes by nearly every single resident if they were home. Video shows them scouring this desert terrain adjacent to homes, even looking in people's backyards in search of evidence. We saw them walk into one homeowner's camper trailer that was parked right on the side of their home. Now, this increase in activity near Annie Guthrie's home comes just hours after they released that surveillance footage from Nancy's front door on the night she was taken. The FBI has continued to ask anyone who may know something to come forward, report what they know, have seen or heard, and investigators, we're told, will follow up with every single tip that comes in. Could it have been a new tip that led them to this area? At this point, we do not know. As I mentioned, Annie Guthrie's house here in the Tucson area is just to the southwest of Nancy's home. It's about a 10 to 15 minute drive. Now, today we have not seen any sight of Annie Guthrie or Tommaso Cioni. That is Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law. Throughout the day today that we've been here the last 5 or 6 hours, no sight of them so far today. Now, the FBI has continued to say that every member of the Guthrie family, any son or daughter of Nancy Guthrie's, that they've all been extremely cooperative with their investigation. We'll send it back to you guys.
But this bears repeating. On the day, Sean, that a bombshell piece of evidence comes out, clearly showing somebody going to Nancy Guthrie's home in a ski mask, they're over at Annie's home looking for evidence.
Right. Yeah, and this is what I've heard is boots on the ground FBI work, right? You release a bombshell piece of evidence. You presumably want to show that evidence to people in and around this area. You want to try to get to as many homes as you can, because who knows if somebody notices the way this person walks or the way they look, even though the person was wearing a ski mask. You just never know. Not to mention, you could find that critical piece of evidence on somebody's property that may have been discarded, that the perpetrator just thought they could put somewhere. That could be a critical piece to breaking this case open. We'll send it back to you.
Very odd, but interesting. All right, Sean, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. For more analysis now on these images in this case, let's bring in John Yanarelli. John is the former assistant special agent in charge for the FBI here in Arizona. John, thank you for being here. And let's start with that last piece. You were listening to that. On the day that we get this video out, and these homes are not close to each other. It's a good 10, 12-minute drive to this house. Why do you think they're back in that neighborhood when this video clearly shows somebody at Nancy's house?
Well, logically, what they want to do is make sure the family has carefully looked at the video. They'll point out intricacies from the video. They may have asked in the past, is there anybody who's been to the house, and no one's come to mind. Now we have an image of the physical appearance of how somebody looks, how they walk. That could trigger a memory that previously had not been there or repressed, hopefully giving them some insight to who this person might be.
You know, looking at the video and the pictures, what is your take when you see the demeanor? I mean, was this something where this suspect knew what he was doing, or maybe not?
Like a lot of criminals, this guy comes across as somebody who perhaps he thinks he's smarter than everyone else. He's taking an awful lot of time getting up to the front door, looking around for something to cover a Ring camera that, if he had done a proper job encasing the place, might have known existed in the first area when he arrived. Likewise, we're told he spent a considerable amount of time in the home. Professionals want to come and go as quickly as possible. Despite the fact he's not coming across as a professional, he's still a criminal, and this is a terrible act that needs to be resolved.
How big of a break is this, John? I mean, what can agents take from this and say, okay, we're going to narrow down our list of suspects here?
It's a huge break in this case. Now we have images. We can see the size and shape of the body. Forensically, they're going to be able to compare the pictures against the background. They'll know exactly how tall he is. They may even be able to get something like shoe size, approximate weight, the clothing as well. Unique, especially in the southern Arizona area with the parka and the ski mask and the backpack itself. It's distinctive in the reflectors that are on it. Somebody's going to have recognized this clothing on this person in the past or seen these items, or if the backpack was sold recently, somebody's going to remember making that sale. Somebody will see this and be able to pick up the phone, call, and say who they think it is.
You know, I've noticed every time there's somewhat of a new development in this case, you've got law enforcement, FBI, Pima County Sheriff's deputies, they're back out the house, whether it's Nancy's, whether it's Annie's. You know, I was reading that after these images were shown to the public, they've gotten even more tips. So chances are they'll probably be back again, just, you know, back and forth, probably searching for even more clues off of these tips.
Absolutely. It's not uncommon that there'll be hundreds, if not more, tips as a result of releasing information like that. The FBI sees it in every case. Every one of those tips, otherwise known as leads, has to be tracked down and investigated. Likewise, you have the family that are victims in this crime that has occurred. It's important to keep the family up to date on everything that can be shared with them to assure them that everyone is working to hopefully bring Nancy back and arrest whoever is responsible for this act.
We got 30 seconds, John. What does your gut tell you on this? You've been involved in so many cases and kidnapping cases. Did this person come here to kidnap Nancy Guthrie? What do you think was going on?
My gut feeling is this is a person that has some familiarity with the area. Didn't necessarily come from a far distance, but has been here in the area, perhaps not at her residence, but someone nearby, had a certain comfort level. You can see just by the way he meanders up and around the porch as if he knows the area. I suspect we're going to find out that this person had a connection to the area or to the people, and that's what brought him there, thinking this would be an opportunity to make some money.
John Iannarelli, former FBI special agent, assistant special agent in charge. Thank you, John. Good insight today.
Yeah, thank you. Well, make sure you have the 12 Plus
Thank
app
you.
downloaded on your TV. Tonight at 7, we're streaming a special 30-minute show analyzing the latest in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. It's something you definitely don't want to miss. So please download our 12 News app now to watch for free.